Assemble! Stay dandy, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, shinobis and kunoichis, get ready, it's time to see the amazing shrinking Isshiki. Sweet ninja nonsense, this was a crazy chapter of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Not only do we get the beginning battle between Kashin Koji and Jigen, otherwise known as Isshiki Otsutsuki, but we finally get to learn how Isshiki became a part of Jigen's body. Not only that, but we're finally getting our very first clues as to how you truly kill an Otsutsuki. And as if that weren't enough, we even learn the origins of Boruto's karma that is in his palm. So let's go ahead and dive right in here. First and foremost, Kashin Koji versus Jigen. It's pretty much exactly what you would expect from this battle, with the characters trading blows, using signature ninja techniques, and all the classic stuff that we've seen from the series. Hand-to-hand combat, being able to substitute themselves out, using fire techniques. The fact that Kashin Koji seems to use just about every type of Jiraiya technique that you could possibly imagine, from toad oil to even using that swamp technique where everything sort of like turns into a swampy ground or the inside of a toad's stomach trying to trap Jigen. It's all there. It's awesome. And I love it. And even, of course, Jigen is starting to use a lot of his signature techniques, which we actually get to learn are actually the techniques of Isshiki. He's the one who has the ability to transform into a tiny little Ant-Man version of himself. And we actually get to see that that technique is actually key to his very existence. So let's go ahead and dive right into that. Like I said, I think the action in this chapter is really solid. It's super fast-paced, and it's classic Naruto-styled action, which is, if you like that stuff, you're definitely going to like it. But we finally get to learn a little bit more about karma and how it works and what its ultimate plan is at the end of the day, and it's kind of out there, but let's just go ahead and dive right in. So we get to learn that karma is actually like a weird sort of technological ability. The only reason I call it that is because we get to learn that the karma, which is in Boruto's palm, is quite literally Momoshiki's entire form and data compressed down into like a little black pyramid, which is embedded into his hand. Basically, Otsutsuki have this ability where they can sort of compress themselves and become like a small little object. And if they embed that object into someone, slowly but surely over time, their data or their very consciousness itself is going to slowly start to extract and take over something's body until eventually they quite literally transform into the form that they originally had. What this means is that even right now, Momoshiki's consciousness is extracting itself and slowly taking over Boruto's body until eventually Boruto will quite literally transform into Momoshiki. It's a lot to take in. It's really freaking strange, and that's not even the end of it. What's really crazy here is that Amato actually says, look, if you want to kill Momoshiki, you could just kill Boruto right now, and that would be the end of him. Of course, that's not really an option at the moment, so they're definitely not going to go along with this plan. Now, after hearing about this revelation of karma, my first thought was, well, that's kind of interesting, but why hasn't Isshiki completely taken over Jigen's body, especially considering that he's been there for a very long time? There actually is an answer to all of this, and the origins of Jigen as well. So apparently, in the past, when Kaguya came to the planet, she came along with Isshiki Otsutsuki, and she betrayed him. She just attacks him, and it is just presumed that Isshiki is dead according to Kaguya. However, before he could die, he found a monk, and that monk just happened to be Jigen. So my first thought was he probably used the power of karma to condense himself in and take over this guy's body, but again, it brings up that question again, how come he hasn't been able to fully take over Jigen's form and transform back into his very own self? Well, here's the ridiculous reason for it. When apparently Jigen's body was taken over, it wasn't through the use of karma, it was because Isshiki actually used his signature technique to transform himself into a tiny version of himself, that he went inside this guy like frickin' Ant-Man and has been literally living off of this guy like a parasite and slowly but surely reassembling his body and becoming strong again. As if that's not weird enough, eventually when his power did come back, he was able to use the power of karma to take over Jigen's body, but here's the thing. Jigen cannot handle this vast amount of chakra. Jigen's body is simply not strong enough to contain the power of Isshiki Otsutsuki, which is why we have Kawaki. He is a vessel which will be possible for Isshiki to actually take over. He's been trying to find the perfect body to inhabit. I mean, just the fact that Isshiki can actually inhabit someone's body just by transforming into a tiny version of himself and literally like sucking up the nutrients in their body to actually contain himself is just weird. And it brings up a number of other questions, like how long has he been doing this? How long has he actually had Jigen's body? Has he been switching to different bodies over time until eventually he made it to Jigen? How has Jigen been around for thousands of years at this point? We have to remember that Isshiki came to the planet with Kaguya, and that was a very long time ago in the actual Naruto timeline. So it just brings up so many questions as to how all of this is possible, and it does actually make sense when you start to think about it at the end of the day, but still, it's very strange for the series, I have to say. I didn't even know that it was even possible for someone to do that. Of course, it's not possible, but again, it's just one of those things in the Naruto series where they have these like set line of rules that they can do something, they can't do something, and here they just went nuts. I mean, everything with Kara has just been insane. So that alone could have made the chapter. It was really interesting and revelatory, and we had some really solid action. But we do actually go back to the big battle at the end between Kashin Koji and Jigen slash Isshiki, and that's where we get this really cool revelation and something that I never thought of before. So basically, Kashin Koji uses this summoning technique, and at first I thought, oh, he's probably going to bring in like a toad or something really cool. Actually, he ends up summoning fire from some sort of faraway mountain, according to him, and it's real fire. It's not chakra-based fire, like when, say, Sasuke uses like a fireball jutsu technique. It's fire that's created through chakra. However, even though Jigen has the ability to sort of absorb chakra-based techniques, he can't absorb normal, natural-based ones. So this real fire is actually hurting his body, and the chapter ends with him basically just being lit aflame, as Amato is describing the true way to actually kill an Otsutsuki, and this might be our very first answer to it. They're going to need some sort of natural element in order to actually bring them down and do something that's not actually chakra-based, which for the Naruto series is the complete opposite of just about everything that we've actually seen from the franchise. And it might seem a little strange, but honestly, I think it's pretty damn refreshing. So, what's the rundown on this chapter of Boruto Naruto Next Generations? Man, what a crazy chapter, to say the least. One, I mean, you know I love action, so I'm loving the fight between Kashin Koji and Jigen Isshiki. It is kind of a shame because, again, you know, they're still going to continue to build up the true identity of what Kashin Koji is. Is he Jiraiya? Is he not Jiraiya? Is he some sort of weird, freaky Jiraiya android that was created by Amato? It's still a complete and utter mystery, but it doesn't diminish from the fact that the battle between these two characters is just fucking awesome. That's the only way to say it. It's just really freaking cool. Also, just the entire backstory of learning about karma is strange, I have to admit. When I read it for the first time, I was like, I don't know if this is cool or if this is stupid. I mean, it's really strange when you actually see how it works, how they can condense themselves down into this like tiny size and embed someone's body to take them over. It's a really OP and very disturbing technique, and again, makes me think of like the beginning of the Boruto series when we had that big tease of Boruto and Kawaki fighting each other. Was this truly Boruto and Kawaki fighting? Was it Momoshiki versus Isshiki? Is there some sort of weird war going on between the Otsutsuki? Are they fighting for control of their bodies during these moments? It brings up so many other questions as to how this all works, and I can't wait to see ultimately how that's going to play out. And I mean, I'd say it's pretty obvious, too, that Jigen is probably going to die and Isshiki is going to leave his body, whether it be in the form of a small compressed piece of karma, or he literally shrinks back into his normal form and tries to find a brand new host. Of course, now that we have a character who can be very small and tiny, finding him is going to be difficult, and everybody should probably start putting some damn earplugs in, or covering every damn near orifice. You never know where Ishiki's going to come in through, and just thinking about that aloud is pretty damn disturbing. All I'm saying is, if you're a ninja in the Naruto world and you don't want your body to be taken over by frickin' Isshiki Otsutsuki, you might want to look in the toilet before you sit down on it. And yes, I'm implying that Isshiki can enter someone through their asshole. Interestingly enough, we also get to see that while Isshiki is pretty powerful, Kaguya apparently had the ability to take him down, again speaking volumes for how disturbingly powerful she already was. I mean, we have to remember that Kaguya is definitely kind of like a high watermark for how strong the characters in the series are, and for Isshiki to get taken down like that is pretty crazy, and he's been basically trying to come back ever since and get revenge against the world and revive himself. I can't wait to see ultimately how all that's going to play out. And like I said, it's only inevitable before we get to see the true defeat of Jigen, who unfortunately is just been caught up in all of this. He was just a monk who got dragged into this terrible situation of being taken over by this creepy little Ant-Man ninja. So, yeah, it's really freaking strange, man, to say the least. I never expected it actually going this way. My hopes and dreams for the next couple chapters of the series is, one, we're going to get to see more of this epic battle between Kashin Koji and Jigen Isshiki, and I really hope that maybe we'll get like a big reveal as to what the deal is with Kashin Koji. I don't know why these guys are not even commenting on that at all. Like, this interesting guy who acts like Jiraiya, has all of his powers and everything. Like, you'd think that Naruto would take notice of this. I mean, I'm not sure if they're still able to completely watch everything that's still going on here. I think they still are, through the weird, freaky holographic memes with the toad and everything, but man, I can't wait to learn a little bit more about Kashin Koji and why he was created, who he truly is. And it's made clear in this chapter, too, that Amato and Kashin Koji basically infiltrated this organization to take them down from the inside. I want to learn a little bit more about Amato, where he came from, how he learned of this organization, and why he had some sort of goal of taking them down, or if he did actually want to work with them initially, but saw how fucking insane they were and decided he's like, you know what, I don't want to be a part of this crazy club anymore. It's crazy, and so is this entire chapter, but it worked really well, and I really loved it. The action, the big revelations, all of it. I really have nothing to hate here. Ever since they introduced the concept of Kaguya and the Otsutsukis and all these weird beings that can come from space and everything, like, you know, you could say that the series jumped the shark, but ever since it did, I'm willing to accept any sort of nuttiness that the show is willing to throw at us at this point. So, yeah, I personally really loved this chapter. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I would love to get your thoughts about it. Tell me all of them in the comments section below, what you thought about this chapter, the battle between Kashin Koji and Isshiki Otsutsuki using the body of Jigen, the big revelation about karma and how it works, how Isshiki infiltrated Jigen's body and slowly sucked up its life force so that he could return with the power of karma. Do you have any theories, again, as to what the deal is with Kashin Koji, his relationship with Amato, how all this turns out? Let's just discuss all of it in the comment section below. So there it is, guys. Thank you for watching this review. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to help out these videos even more, please check out my Patreon in the description box below. If you guys make a small donation, I will do an anime review of your choice. I'm currently working on about 4 of those right now, so stay tuned for all of those coming up soon. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay dandy, baby.